Hey guys, what's up? It's once again mp4podcast.com, and I want to talk about this story I read over at philipbloom.net. S-Log for the F3 from Prince Adam to He-Man at a cost. Now just to show you, it's $3,860 for a firmware update for this camera. Okay, Sony is going to charge $3,860 for this camera when this camera already costs $13,960. So the full price comes out to be $17,820. That's a little crazy, I think. But anyway, I want to show you what the firmware is able to do. Now, I'm going to leave the link to this article in the description box so you can really get a much better look instead of looking at my screen capture. Right here, as you can see, you can't really see too much detail in his hair. It's just mud. That's what they call kind of like when you lose detail and there's nothing there. They kind of call that mud in video. Well, mud is also pixelation. Anybody has a Panasonic G1 knows about mud. Okay, so now with the firmware update, we're able to see actually some detail in his hair. Also, the bracelets he's wearing, you can tell that's probably made up of, probably little pieces of metal, and it's a circular bracelet. As over here, you can't see anything right over here. You can't, you might think that's cloth. You really don't have any idea. Over here, you have a much better idea of what type of bracelet that is. And what I'm talking about is you're able to see, really just see, objects in an image as almost as good as the human eye. Not as good as the human eye, but it's close enough where you can distinguish what things are. This picture looks pretty damn good. I mean, there's a lot of detail. I mean, there's a little bit of grain in the image, but it doesn't really bother me at all. This one looks kind of crappy. His skin is all red. That's become, from the low light. And a lot of times when you get low light, you get like hot pixels. They can be red, blue, I think sometimes yellow. Those are usually the three, like the RGB is. So this one is it's a much better image. It's going to cost you $3,860 for this firmware update. Now, what boggles my mind is that Sony Pictures, a lot of the studios, they use red cameras. They don't even use Sony cameras. They use some Sonys, but they do use some reds. Spider-Man is being shot on red. District 9, a lot of it was shot on red. Except for the running through the ghetto, that was shot on some Sony camcorders. Like camcorders, they're like $3,000. But like, why not give out the firmware for free and give Red a run for their money? Because the F3 is an amazing camera, and this will give you a little backstory about. I don't want to say backstory. A little hit. I don't know how to say this, but I'm just gonna come on and say it. A lot of times when you see, camera manufacturers, sometimes they want to test a camera with detail. They'll do a couple of things, and a lot of times most people don't even know what's going on. What they'll do is they'll get in this case, he got two models. They got a black model with a white dress. They got a white model with a black dress. You see the full dramatic range of everything, from the skin tones to the dresses they're wearing. This girl is black. You see her skin tone perfect. There's, it picks up all the detail. At the same time, her dress is not blown out. Because what will happen is if you get somebody who is very dark skinned, you are going to have to open up on the aperture a little bit. But at the time they're wearing a white shirt or a white dress or something, you can overexpose the white dress. With this Sony, it has latitude, which is, sometimes these cameras are now going 14 stops latitude, so they're able to pull detail from other spectrums, because the way digital works is like the data is there, but they have to go into a video post-production editor like Final Cut or Premiere or Avid to pull this detail back through, back in and out. And a lot of these camcorders are now shooting raw data, and when you shoot raw data, you get a lot more data. Now, when you see this video, you'll see the white model. She's wearing a black dress, and you'll see all the detail in her black dress. A lot of times when you see people with cheap camcorders on YouTube, they're wearing a black shirt or something like that, you'll see that completely black. You won't see any ripples or anything. It's just completely black. Sometimes you'll see it on like cheap older LCD TV sets that weren't that good, that were maybe made back 5 years ago. So my advice to Sony is to release the firmware for free and give Red a run for their money, because the F3, it is an amazing camera, you know. And I just want to say, like, you know, if Sony is going to, you know, be charging a lot of money, there's also another competitor. This is called the Alexa. It's a new camera company that came out, and this camera is amazing. They started out like Red. They have one big, you know, expensive camera, but they'll probably come down and, you know, make some smaller, more affordable movie cameras. Apple has done the same thing, charging $2 to unlock wireless in. Of course, this story goes back to 2007, but I mean, scumbag Apple, scumbag Sony, charging to unlock features, upgrade a firmware, so and so. Now I want to talk about why there's different exposures for different things, and why in this video right here, you know, why did they get a black model with a white dress? Why did they get a white model with a black dress? Well, it's very simple, and I'm going to try to explain it a little bit with these Canon lenses. Now I'm talking about mostly the white ones. The reason is because in every part of every atom, there's something in the nucleus of something that determines the color. You know, if it's red, blue, green, or whatever the color is, that determines the color. And your eye is like a antenna, kind of like a radio. Light hits, you know, let's say it's an apple. Light hits the apple. From that atom reflects a frequency at a certain wavelength of light, goes into your eye. Your eye determines that wavelength is red. Okay, following me? Now, a lot of these more expensive lenses, these white ones, and the reason why these real big lenses are white, Minolta started out with white lenses. I think Nikon has some silver ones, but most of them are black. But even if they're black, they really doesn't have a problem. But the real reason why they're white is because, you know, you have sports photographers, baseball, American football, European or whatever other parts of the world, soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, rugby, cricket, list goes on and on for sports, National Geographics, other types of sports, or news photographers. You're in very hot environments, especially in July or August at a baseball game. Okay, this is very, very expensive glass here. Some of these lenses go up to, well, this one right here is $17,000. This one's, you know, $2,689. They want to keep the glass cool for because the glass can actually warp when heated. And if it's black, black absorbs more heat. If it's white, it tries to reflect that. But now I want to talk about the glass that's in some of these lenses. They have special glass. Nikon has it too. And what happens is the RGB, the red, blue, and green. You know, like in the back of your TV set where you have the red, blue, and green. Well, the red is coming in at a different frequency. The blue's coming in at a different frequency. and the green's coming in at different frequency. I think I said all the three different colors. And the special glass that's in these lenses tries to catch all those frequencies and slows them all down so they all hit the back of the camera, the CMOS sensor. And like the CMOS sensor would be back here or back here, right at the back of the camera. Hits the film at the exact same time, so all parts of the light hit the film. Okay, that's why they try to do this. That's why they got, like I said, a black model with white dress, white model, black dress. Even Zacuto, sometimes they'll get a white girl with black hair. They want to check skin tone, white skin, black hair. I mean, sometimes you expose for the skin and the hair is all dark. You can't see any detail. The thing with digital is they're trying to get to the point where they can pretty much film anything. And we're so close on a technology level of filming anything that it's almost kind of scary. I mean, the new stuff that's coming out of digital is completely blowing out film. Don't get me wrong, sometimes film is still better. Well, I'm talking about technology within, texture details and all these other things, low light and all these other things. We're getting really, really close to perfection. And probably within 10 years, we're probably going to have amazing cameras once we hit 16K. But do you think it's right for Sony to charge $3,860 for a firmware update? Let me know in the comments below. So once again, guys, this is MP4podcast.com signing out. You guys take care. Lay guys, bye.